Hello, friends. My name's host Eric, West Enrico, here talking with people. Tonight, we're talking slabs. Do slabs control your destiny? Short answer, yes. Long answer, maybe. Medium answer, no, but. Regardless, probably. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm a little tired. I'm also not going to lie to you about my state of general mental wiggity wah. I've got a lot of mental wiggity wah right now. Hi, ham bone. See, here's the thing. Here's why I got a lot of miggity ma. Mental miggity ma. It's because slabs are doing shit. Slabs are doing shit beyond my even understanding. So, one thing I'm going to talk about here on this live stream that it's not really formal yet. I think I'll wait until tomorrow or the next day. The huge rush to formalize it. Hi, King King. Krishna Summer Pagoo. But Kimberly and I have been broken up for a few days now. I'm 99% sure that, hey, PP is being mean to porters. Then we're not going to get back together. But, no, it's perfectly fine, ham bone. The thing is, I'm not sorry. I'm relieved mostly, ready to move on. Here's the deal about this. Criticism kills love, and criticism undermines attachment. One behavior of Kimberly's that I've been wrestling with for a long time now is that she's hypercritical of me in all sorts of different contexts. And, I've been telling her for a while now that the stories we tell come true. And she's been telling some pretty awful stories about me for quite a while now. So, yeah, I tried my best. I really did. And the thing is, I plan to be as mutually minded as I can in the breakup as well. It looks like we're going to probably still be cohabiting for a while. I'm sort of recommending that we take that course of action where we basically keep the same arrangement, except we're not dating or going out. I mean, obviously, I'm going to start separating our finances, but I could imagine in my worldview, in my mind, I could imagine Kimberly continuing to live here and having the main room and everything, and sort of me covering the rent and a lot of the bills, and she just continues her current role: laundry, feeding, mean spacey, stuff like that, And then at some point, obviously, I will meet some other chick. So I'm not looking for one at the moment because, Jesus Christ. But I tell you this, Slabs made that relationship happen and fail despite my very best efforts and continual efforts, so that I could learn a lot of shit. The number one thing I learned was all about FI, what it means to be subject to abuse And I'm super fortunate. The abuse I was subject to, um, having 48 years old and highly secure in myself, I have very good self-esteem. Uh, she's dangerous in some regards. She wasn't dangerous to me particularly because I was never at risk of internalizing those things long term. I did internalize some of that shit temporarily, but um, man, the amount of harm a person can do potentially just by projecting negative ontology on people, like going, you are a lazy person, you are insecure, you are whatever, B-verb shit, B-verb critiques. It could be very damaging. Now, I think, though, she probably learned a lot from the experience, too. I don't think she's going to be like that in the future. With whoever she's with next, she's probably going to be pretty loving. But the main thing I learned from all is I'm going to be extremely careful about what woman I choose going forward. Make sure they have a secure attachment style. Make sure they're nice and affirming. And I still am looking for an ISFJ. Ideally, I just want one that acts like a regular ISFJ. We typed today, chill ISFJ. In fact, I've got 2 typing session videos that are uploaded. And I haven't posted them yet because it's been a bit of a whirlwind of activity around here. Thanks, Ambone. Yeah, it's a good world. It's a good heuristic of sorts, where at least if you're condemning actions, it seems to imply a presumption that you are a good person who's deviating from your goodness. Go MGTOW. No, I'm not MGTOW. You know who else is? I'm thinking now. Look, this live stream is titled like this because a lot of stuff I'm going to talk about in this video is not really. It's not really time to talk about it yet, and so I'm kind of jumping the gun and getting this shit off my chest. But the slabs are definitely in motion. I came back from the airport not very long ago. Spacey and I drove to the airport. Spacey, I, and Tori drove back from the airport. Yes, there is I think she's 20-year-old girl who flew in, and well, I mean, she knew coming here that there's, as I indicated, look, there's not any place for anybody to sleep other than you're going to sleep in the basement, or that's it. If Spacey wants you in the basement with them, that's fine. So she's here, they're in the basement, and I'm sure there's a lot of neuroticism right now, just sort of being meowed over. Now imagine me having an ESTJ for about 3 years. She fucked my FI dom heart. I went into the deepest darks, but eventually learned a lot. Yeah, that's it can be rough going through that kind of shit. But like you said, it's totally a learning experience. For me, I'm recognized as extremely slabular. I'm being prepared to, with all the tools I need for whenever I'm called upon to fulfill my real destiny, whatever it is. I don't really know for sure. I look so hungover. I don't drink alcohol at all. I'm not even remotely hungover. You look like you have toxic shock. You leave your tampon in for too long. So till today, all these years, what have you learned? That's a big question, but I would say going into this relationship, I'd come out of a relationship with an ESFJ that relationship didn't work, but it wasn't unhealthy. Um, by the end, we fought a fair amount, but she didn't have an insecure attachment style. She was never abusive to me. I was never abusive to her. Well, listen, toxic femininity. I appreciate the fact that you visit dingy drug dens to see people live streaming or something. But what you see at the crack house, what you do at the crack house, toxic femininity, please leave at the crack house. That's not appropriate for here. We don't do dingy drug dens. That's kind of ghetto. I always forget this live stream is one way and get worried about the fact that I'm naked. I can actually see you, Matthew. Who would have expected you to be so hung? Wow, that's like down to your ankle. Did you say you live in the moment of by the moment? I mean, think. Do I think in the moment? I don't know how else one would think. If you want other people to do your fourth function for you, how does that play out with fourth slot FE? Big M, one of those two kids you're referring to is 48-year-old Kimberly, my very recently ex-woman, my wife, girlfriend thing, until right now as I'm revealing that we've been broken up for a couple of days. You don't want to know what happens at Mexican crack houses. I showed you what happens at white ones. Listen, toxic femininity, I'm sorry if I made an example like you out of you. That wasn't fair of me. Guys, when I indicated that toxic femininity sucks is what happens at white drug houses, crack houses, that wasn't fair to him or to the white crack houses. No, that was Facey again. So look, if you want to criticize me for being, a little mean to toxic femininity, I'm sorry if my honesty disturbed his tenderness. So, okay, if you want other people to do your fourth function for you, how does that play out with fourth slot FE? They don't do the FE work themselves. Like, they don't go, okay, well, I got these cues, so they mean that person's affirming me or liking this or liking me, even though they're not saying anything explicitly. Fourth slot FE wants all that shit to be made explicit. And if you get it with an ESFJ, it is. So, or an ENFJ, depending on what your type is. Bro, this chat is hilarious. It's way funnier when you weren't talking about these stupid personality types. Well, Big M, I will agree with you. I am absolutely fucking hilarious. Probably the funniest, most clever live streamer you're ever going to encounter. But unfortunately for you, I am also informative. And some of the time, I shall and do talk about things that people care about. Hey, you were just feeling down over your recent life events. You're acting a little out of character. It's all right. Oh, toxic femininity? Okay, maybe I was too harsh on him. Maybe his, seeking anal wreckage in Mexican crack houses isn't an anomaly. It's not typical for him. I'm not sure. All I know is that when I saw him with the piñata up his ass and the guy in front of him saying, "Ay, señor," I was just like, okay. Toxic femininity, I can't unsee this, Personality types are for crackheads? Oh my God, Big M, you're a crackhead? You have a personality type too, like everybody. When did the world become comprised of nothing but crackheads? Was the day Big M and Toxic Femininity mated? My new background is interesting. Bro, I thought you were funny. Now you're just racist. Big M, I'm transracial. I can't be racist. I've been every race, after all. Now, by even presuming I could be racist, that makes you mega racist. And you know what happened to the biggest of the fauna 40 million years ago? They all died. That's the same thing happens to the biggest of the races, like you. So watch out, you're attracting meteors. Big M says bro enough to be an ESTP. So I'm going to type Big M. He owes me $35 for that now. You're probably right about that. The reason I think you're probably right about that is because Big M cannot help but buy in gradually. He's attempting to come to troll, but he's swayed. But I gotta say, Big M is also right, Matthew. Those kind of comments are why your father ran out of your household. Nobody wants to hear that, okay? Nobody wants to hear they owe you $35. What do you think of the Big Five and Jordan Peterson's critiques of MBTI being unscientific? I think Jordan Peterson's critiques of MBTI being unscientific are number one, disingenuous, and number two, wrong. They're disingenuous because he's very careful to just critique MBTI, not cognitive functions at all. And they're wrong because, to the extent that he's right about MBTI, by ignoring cognitive functions, he's misrepresenting what actually ought to be explored intellectually and leading people astray. What's missing is TWFP written on construction paper and penned up. I decided to make it look nice behind me. And when Spacey's involved in the live stream, he's going to sit here and I'll sit over here a little more further this way, and we'll both be on the screen. And we'll, it's kind of a Shanny and Dave feel, this particular background. And just so we're on the same page, he said bro twice, so calm down, lol. Well, Big M explicitly said bro twice. It's true. But subtextually, your speech is utterly littered with bros. Well, what do the slabs know? The slabs know everything. What do I know? That my hubris gets me in trouble. That thinking I can ignore the slabs and force my will on the reality and say, I will heal this woman. It's hubris, and it just causes me suffering. Coming back to the topic shortly, you mentioned it again, the stories we tell. That's the point where you and Kemp are at the moment. The time and space to control destiny as agents. Walter Wiseman, I gotta say about any sort of notions or thoughts or whatever about me and Kim, I don't care anymore really whether people believe me or whatever I think, but this is not the sort of thing that Kim and I are never at the same spot at the same moment at all. And that's true now. I've been as honest, good, just, fair, true, non-adversarial, dialectical, helpful, loving, affirmative, everything I could possibly be as I could, or try to love her as well as I could. And the bottom line is, I can't, as much as I want to love her and help her and make sure she's okay, I can't do it while being subject to this much abuse. I just can't do it. It makes me too mad. I get too emotional. I start behaving in ways that are not acceptable, and that I'm subject to legitimate critique. It's one of the things she likes to do. She likes to provoke me until I scream at her, and then spend the next weeks hammering at me for screaming, even though she never acknowledges anything herself. So anyway, regardless, I don't care anymore. There's no point in arguing about anything anymore. I just want to know that, we're done, that for sure, that we can cohabit without fighting with each other's housemates for a while, and I just feel that sense of finally, this toxicity is no longer yoked around my neck. Rita says she likes the mess better, boring background. If either Bob or Joe go to the game, then Tom will be angry. If Bob and Joe both go, Tom will be livid. If neither Bob nor Joe go, Tom will be happy. Tom is not angry. Well, first of all, it says it includes all the possibilities. FOSology. If either Bob or Joe go to the game, that means Tom will be angry. If Bob and Joe both go, Tom will be livid. Will he still be angry as well? Yes, because you're right. It's an or in the first one that tells us Bob true, then the whole thing true. Joe true, then the whole thing true. And the second one, if both are true, obviously, then either one of them is also true. So if they both go, then they'll be livid. Tom will be livid, and Tom will be angry because that means that either Bob or Joe is gone. Those things aren't inconsistent with each other. Angry is an earlier level of livid, but here is treated as a distinct level. If neither Bob nor Joe go, and that means logically, if both Bob and Joe don't go, then Tom will be happy. Tom is not angry. So he has to be happy. Because if either Bob or Joe went to the game, or both Bob and Joe went to the game, Tom would be angry. Either of those circumstances. I like the mess better on background. Most people will like this background a lot better than the mess. I like it a lot better. Toxic femininity sucks. Please change your name. It's very difficult to address you something without thinking toxic femininity. I just call them, you know, I don't know, TFS, tampon lover. Call them tampon lover. Only intuitives are awake. Whenever I push the slabs, they always push back against me with equal and opposite force. I mean, I have a more nuanced relationship with pushing the slabs. I do push on them occasionally, but mostly I try to nudge and encourage. If I do it well, they'll be responsive. But when I'm being stubborn, like I was with Kimberly, and saying, I will define all of these narratives. Slabs intend this, and therefore I will fulfill that destiny. I see, Walter says, on DeAndre, absolutely. You seem like the type of guy that wasn't allowed around your nieces and nephews. Well, you got a little bit of a problem there, Big M, if you're talking to me. You see, I'm an only child. That's right. I have no nieces and nephews. Yeah, verbal abuse is emotional abuse, and there's no doubt that Kimberly's been verbally abusing me. It's appalling. If bipolar allowed me to just sort of be confused for quite a while, like, no, why is she like, what is she doing? You know, my attachment style is secure. I have a totally secure attachment style. Kimberly is not a feminist at all. She is somewhat toxic in her behavior, and it stems from having experienced some trauma and abuse as a child. But while that may explain it, it certainly doesn't make it my problem. And since she's projecting her own damage by intentionally and willfully trying to harm me with her words, then I mean, there's not so much that I can put up with. She's been very clear also. I mean, she says things like, I don't like you. Just like that to me all the time. Yes, and at least have fun in this freedom altogether. Yeah, I think so. I don't think he has a hard time doing it. Eric seems like he's good at thinking out negative emotions. But the bottom line is I'm not. I'm terrible at it, and I expect in a relationship for me to be able to resolve every dispute right away so I don't have to carry any negative emotions. I've not been allowed to do that in this relationship. And so I now feel like I've resolved them by by not having that yoked around my neck anymore. And yeah, MGTOW is just as toxic. It's the same thing as feminism. It's it's stupid groupism for lonely dudes. Okay. Oh yeah. Well, big M, toxic femininity. First, I want you to know, yes, you guys are very edgy. And I'm just like, oh, they did not say those edgy things. Because I'm super impressed by them. Hey, TJ Music, 24. Am I hiding? No, I'm just in my garage. I've just made a new backdrop for my shit here. Countess One. Hey, everyone. Hey, Countess One. Hambone asks, what's a hoochie? A hoochie is a form of discharge that comes out of toxic femininity. You're a feminist, King Krishna Sarmabhagyu? I call myself a feminist sometimes. Most people wouldn't call me a feminist. Look, anybody who believes that we ought to prioritize an individual's group membership over their individuality is necessarily an anti-individualist and therefore on the side of evil. Whether they be feminists, MGTOWs, racists, classists, Republicans, Democrats, whatever. If you think somebody can be reduced to their group and defined accordingly, then you're working on Satan's team. What's a slab? Asks a countess. Very good question. A slab, the full name of it is a meaning slab. Now, the meaning slabs comprise all the stories, events, experiences, and magical things that happen to you in life. And what we have to do is recognize that if we want to have a fully realized framework for existence, life, meaning, whatever, we have to incorporate non-rational stuff, be it magical thinking, be it faith, be it whatever. We have to look for and create the magic that makes life fulfilling. Now, it's a little more complicated than just making the decision to do that. I don't really necessarily want to go into all the details of the specifics of how that worked out for me or anything. But, I mean, ultimately, each of us has got to attempt to resonate with aspects of human existence that are non-comfortable, at least at first, for growth to happen. You replied to my comment on your music channel a few weeks ago? Did I leave a comment on your music channel a few weeks ago? Maybe you're talking to Walter. Walter, come over here. Can you anally wreck this gentleman for me, please? Yeah, he's trying to use the Schick-Shadel method to cure him of his gayness. I make occasional hiatus as well every few days. Bukoki inspired me. Is that plural of hiatus? Good question. I don't know. Feminism equals cancer? What kind of cancer? Colon cancer. brain cancer, poop cancer. I love gay people. They are like unicorns, so happy and cheerful. See, do you think they might feel a little tucked down to there? That's societal cancer. Okay. I don't think it's really growing. So fill me in on Spacey. I've seen the songs, which I like. He lives there. Who is he? Well, TJ Music 24. Spacey is a friend from the channel from very close to the very beginning of the channel. And, I chatted for years and stuff, basically. And he was depressed in New York. And when he came out here for summer camp, he was just like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do when I have to go back. He was just, there was nothing for him there. He wasn't happy. He needed a change. So that's the slabs thing, right? So here's the indication of the slabs. It was the day before Spacey was supposed to go back to New York. I already told him, look, dude, I'll keep thinking about what I can do for you, but I can't have you come here out of the blue right now. You stay here forever. And then, like, that morning, Delilah stormed into the house and, like, moved out of the house in a big dramatic huff, emptying that room in the process. And I just took it as a sign from the slabs that Spacey was meant to stay. Now, I was right. Spacey was definitely meant to stay. And he's made everything around here a lot better. He's made it so that Kimberly and I don't fight so much. He's made it so Kimberly and I broke up, which is much needed. Although not by directing at all or giving specific advice or instructions or anything like that. He just has a general quality of increasing mindfulness and awareness. Nothing says good tidings like taking it up the ass. You're not happy either, Eileen Narva? Really? What are you sad about? Tired of bratwurst? Tired of sauerkraut? And scissoring. Yeah, well, I mean, anytime two chicks get in a room together and there aren't any dudes around, they scissor. That's how chicks greet each other. I still don't get it. Someone give me a synonym, please. God. I don't know. It's basically God's slabs. I don't know. Is that Spacey's FI? Spacey's not FI. Spacey's an INTP. Do you think that effect is counted INTPs or just Spacey? Spacey's a particularly optimal INTP. He's more developed than many. He's less attached to his reflexive attentional manners. And I would say more of a moralist than most INTPs, which is to further indicate he feels as though, to the extent that normative questions are central to being itself, which they kind of are, that it's critical to be kind and compassionate and fight for good and against evil. Spacey's really lucky he can stay with people who like him. Spacey's not lucky. I mean, we're both lucky in some sense, but the point is, there was no luck involved or anything like that. It was like part of the whole big picture slabbery shit. Slabs are tricky business. Tricky to even begin to talk about because you can offend them really easily. They can cause you to break your leg. They can, who knows? But the arrival of Tori is clearly significant in some sense. So now, all of a sudden, and over the course of like 1 or 2 days, I no longer have a girlfriend, and Spacey has a whatever that is, a temporary visitor, I guess. I don't know. So, and my feeling on that is, well, this will be interesting. I might kick her out 3 days after she arrived. Depends on how. Entirely depends on whether or not she annoys me or pleases me. Basically, if she's useful and pleasant and eager to please, then I don't have any problem with her. If she's a bitch, and believe me, I've got a low toxicity threshold at this point, then see you later. Kick Kim out of the streets. Who cares? She'll be fine. No, flew nowhere. No. Listen, I am not Kim's enemy. We're broken up, but she is still somebody that I want to see not suffer, not want her to suffer. So, look, I told Kimberly that nothing's absolute finalized until and unless I change my relationship status on Facebook. That is the real determiner. As long as my Facebook status doesn't change, then it's still plausible if she were to do a bunch of shit that she might convince me to not stay broken up. She's nowhere near even trying to convince me to not stay broken up. She's still expecting me to try to convince her. So, I mean, that's not going to fly for shit. In Spacey's mindfulness and awareness and FI thing, he seems to have. It's not that his FI is better than other INTPs or anything like that. It's that he's chosen a manifestation of INTP that prioritizes those normative concerns of goodwill, compassion, whatever, over the typical INTP concerns of winning and being right. You know. So, Jake Forrest asks, didn't realize he broke up with Kim. How did Spacey influence that with his mindfulness? He didn't influence it with his mindfulness exactly, although he influenced me with that to make me a little bit less reactive. But what he really did was he made it impossible for Kim to tell to keep the status quo in the narrative battle. You know, things that she would say to me that were just like she'd walk in a room and just insult me, and I'd say something, and then she'd immediately just start attacking me again. Like, you go, what? But hold on, Kim. I mean, you did just walk in the room and directly insult this guy for no reason at all, apparently. And so, and he tries very hard to be fair to Kim, but the thing is, Kim doesn't understand fairness. If there's anything that he adjudicates in my favor, or if whatever. Matthew, I am not going to fuck Tori. Okay? No way. Zero chance. That woman is not for me to fuck. That woman is for Spacey to fuck. Let's pull some balls. This wasn't really a today thing. This has been a few days and it works. It's going to be for the best for everybody, including Kimberly, as long as she doesn't freak out too much during this changing of statuses, period. Because the thing to remember is it's not like I'm leaving her or breaking up with her. It's more like she's she's not broken up with me herself exactly, but done everything possibly imaginable to make it impossible for me not to break up with her. I mean, she has told me openly so many times, I just don't like you. I just hate the sound of your voice. You are so annoying. Shit like that. Yeah, we're fine. I'm fine. I mean, I don't know about her. Kimberly's instinct is fight. And so now here in the breakup, she's really confused. She's never been in a breakup with somebody who didn't end up her enemy before. When I tell her, no, Kim, I just, listen, I don't want to see you suffer at all. I want to make sure that you're okay. And I'm not your enemy and I don't hate you and whatever. No, I was sleeping in the other room. We are living in the same house. We stay in other rooms. In fact, when I got back from the airport tonight, she had moved all of my clothes into the living room, telling me basically, move your clothes out of this room now, move it into the middle room, which is fine. And it's probably for the best. Um, I think, I suspect if she'll allow it to happen, then we'll settle into a new normal whereby we're not together. But I'm still helping her to sustain her time in this house, give her some months to decide on a plan that doesn't involve us living with her. And ease through the transition. Maybe chip in on some credit card bills to help pay those down. Be a decent guy across the board, and also not have to uproot everything all of a sudden. Go massive changes. No, I'm not gonna fuck her anymore either. No, I'm not. I mean, I have since we broke up, but I'm not going to again. Well, Kim's the name on the lease, but Kim can't afford to live here without my assistance, or without my basically paying the rent, which is fine. I don't mind that. It was really cool and mature of you, Eric. I'm pretty inspirational dealing with the breakup. Well, once I'm done breaking up with somebody, there's no more emotion. The emotion stuff means basically if I'm being emotional or angry or whatever in a relationship, it typically means the other person is being a problem intentionally, repeatedly. And that's gonna annoy me. It's like one thing I can't have. I cannot have a problem admirer in my life. Problem admirers are people who complain a lot, who find something wrong with everything, who admire problems. And when you present them solutions, they reject your solution. They don't listen to your solution. They don't want to try it. They've got, yeah, but that's not going to work because those are problem admirers. I didn't know I had gotten with a problem admirer when I got with Kimberly, but I did. And I will never again in my life have any problem admirer get anywhere near that close to me again. No way. It is an absolute nightmare because you can never deal with any specifics. If you deal with any specifics, you're making the problem worse. You're saying, um, okay, yeah, let's stand here and complain about this shit. Or, okay, I'll look sheepish, so whatever. It doesn't do you any good. The only thing you can possibly hope might help is to address the fact that the problem, the actual problem, is your problem admiration. And it will always be a bigger problem than any specific problem that you try to get me to admire along with you. A supervisor-supervisee, mentor-protege relationship. What does Sociology understand for that relationship? Live and let live is my stand. I don't change people. I take them like they are wherever we go. While I lean over this wise words, I will do it in the future. In the future, I will be skittish about committing to anything. I'm not going to be rushing into a relationship. That's for fucking sure. And I'm going to have to see a deep positive health in any woman I get with going forward. Somebody who's both who's pretty far along the optimization path. That's an area where people don't really talk about a lot. But if you want to see if a relationship is going to work or not, you got to check where each of the two parties is along the optimization path. I'm a lot further along my optimization path. It's not to try to insult Kimberly or diss her or anything. It's just, um, I mean, it's too hard to even explain. He's not much wiser already. Eric Slabs been doing good work. Yeah, Hambo and they have been doing good work. And I need to sort of humbly check in with the Slabs a little bit for a while. Understand that the proper approach to this whole thing is gratitude. Gratitude at Kimberly not allowing an unhealthy relationship to continue. Now, she may have not allowed it by being incredibly toxic, but that's a lot better than just living with a festering but tolerable wound the rest of your life, you know? Nobody wants to do that. My age is significant as well. Part of the reason why I thought I was going to be with her is, like, I'm already 48. I can't waste any time on any more wrong relationships. So, last time when I was single, I said, now this one is going to be the last one. This is the story I'm telling. Now, the story I'm telling will come true. That means this woman I'm with will be nice and loving and good for me and fine and wonderful. And when Kimberly wasn't, I just basically kept telling her, hey, you have to stop being evil. You need to be good to me. And this is what love looks like. And this is how we talk to each other. And this is how we do not talk to each other. And that just made her worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. But there's nothing I can do except either respond to it or just sit there and be a victim. I'm not going to be a victim. Eric, to help you know when MBTI stuff by dealing with people around you or the situation you're in. It helps me all the time understand, but it doesn't help me necessarily solve. Kimberly is a tricky situation because mostly MBTI helps me to understand how she's deviating from a healthy ISFJ. A healthy ISFJ uses their warmth and stuff to control their significant other in a dual relationship in ways that the ENTP feels happy to be controlled. In other words, the ISFJ is deft in the management of the ENTP, making sure the ENTP feels always sufficient autonomy, sufficient credit being given, sufficient affirmation, and also sufficient hand wringing, like to help the ENTP. Okay, well, she seems really worried, so I guess I'll make sure I'll do it her way, whatever. Instead of the way Kimberly does it, which is, I mean, she takes all that FE and she weaponizes the fuck out of it and just attacks the living fuck out of me, trying to break my spirit so that I guess I'll become compliant and deferential and walking on eggshells all the time or something. It's like some people don't get that you can't have one person wanting to win over their partner all the time. The two partners have to want to make sacrifices. They have to want things to be win-win or mutually win-loss, which creates another level of win. Kimberly never did manage to get non-adversarial with me. She never figured out how to trust me enough to listen to what I'm saying, try to find things to agree with, and learn anything. For the last 6 months, 7 months, she's been determined, no matter what, to never learn anything from me. She's said that stuff explicitly, like, Eric, you have absolutely nothing to teach me. I will never learn anything from you. You treat me like I'm damaged, but you're just so perfect. Thing is, I've never done that. I've always done my part and acknowledged, you know what, Kimberly, you're right about that. I am so sorry I did that. I will really genuinely do my best not to do that again. I should have immediately admitted that, but I guess I had my own moisture in the mix. And at first, I tried to fight back about that and tell you some bullshit. I don't believe that bullshit. I thought about it now. Come back 30 minutes later, and I just want to apologize and explain. Here's why you were right, and here's why I was wrong. I do that shit all the time as my default interaction style with my significant other. In other words, I would never be okay with walking away from an interaction, realizing after the interaction that I'd been unfair and not going back and setting things straight. She is never, actually, no, she did this yesterday for the first time in our entire relationship. I came back from someplace and I said, Kim, what I was saying before was whatever is true or whatever, but it doesn't matter. I shouldn't have gotten angry at you earlier. I really resolved not to do that. I resolved not to raise my voice, and I did anyway. I told you I wasn't going to do that, and that's totally unacceptable. I am very, very sorry that I did that. And then she did something she had never before done in our entire relationship. She said, it was my fault. I was like, where's this person been? Um, oh, it's pretty standard. I'm fine. But the thing is, Kimberly has been. The thing I've been pretty. I've been pretty careful about what stories I tell about Kimberly on the live stream. So there's lots of shit that happens that I just sort of go, hey, that was embarrassing. But she's one of her habits has been in fights and stuff. If I go, look, Kimberly, don't try it like that. If you're gonna be like that, then I'll be like this. She immediately goes, fine, let's break up then. Just break up with me then. I don't care. She's been doing that to me for the whole duration of the relationship. And threatening to break up with someone all the time and telling them all the time that if you don't like it, then just break up with me is a form of abuse that I don't know why I put up with so long, except that I'm bipolar, I guess. No, you know, I'm friends, Kim. I plan to still be friends with Kim. The point is, when a person has Kimberly's a pretty powerful wizard, and for the last year or so at least, the spell she's been casting is they've all of the spells she's been casting have been spells that have made me periodically think, okay, this is hard. Eventually, you realize, at this point, there's not a lot of attachment left, is what it boils down to. I don't feel like there's a loss here. I feel like, I mean, it's a loss like, finally, I got my cast off and I can get out of the wheelchair. I don't have to worry about this constant burden of negativity, expectations, anger, disrespect, contempt, disdain, and all the other fucking toxic shit she throws at me all the time. It just feels like, thank you for forcing the issue. I mean, I'm really stubborn. I told her at the beginning of the relationship, look, I don't ever break up with people. Here's what happens. I behave well in the relationship, lovingly and good and true and just and fine and special. And you do too. And if you don't, I bring the hammer until you change or leave. And I will hammer you mercilessly if you are doing something that is unacceptable. But I won't leave you. Well, her anvil is stronger than my hammer. My hammering arm, it's exhausted. I've torn tendons, ligaments, I've strained muscles. It is a absolute wreck right now. And her anvil seems undented by my hammer. So it proves to me something. The arrogance of good is outmatched by the stubbornness of evil by a massive margin. What I mean by that is, it doesn't matter how many good spells I have in my repertoire, and how many times I've tried to cast these good spells, healing spells, truth spells, whatever. If part of a person's damage profile is to constantly give expression to, life to, and take direction from that damage in her own spellcasting, there's nothing you can do. It's always easier to destroy something than it is to build something. And if one of the two partners in a relationship is hell bent on destroying it, then it's doomed. It doesn't matter how good true justice is. You can't build faster than she can be demolished. So let's see. At some point, she needs to understand herself. She will always suffer. And since you try to say all the time you don't labor and it's still going on, you can't help it. Right. Well, the thing is, I do believe might be the case is she might just genuinely be happier not in a relationship. And she may suffer substantially less not in a relationship. When she's in a relationship, it seems as though, or when she was in one with me, that her ontology becomes mostly just expectations of that other person, critiques of that other person, and comparisons of that other person against her ideal. So I never get credit for anything. It's like, no matter what I do or anything, it's either acceptable or imperfect. It's imperfect. The only thing I'll hear about is the one part of it that's wrong. If it's perfect, I might get, oh, thank you, sweetie. And then that's fine. That's good. But it's rarely perfect. And most of the time, it's not even treated nicely. It's like I've spent a long time doing some projects for her that she wants me to do. And I'll say, okay, I'm done. Come check it out. What the fuck were you thinking doing this thing here? Oh my God. You're so retarded. You're so dumb about this stuff. You're so. It's like, you missed a spot is attaining some weird radioactive megaform here. What are you thinking? Why would you talk to me like that? I just spent all the time doing this thing for you. I just didn't go perfectly like you wanted it. Spells equal basically words. The words we say, the stories we tell come true. Now, depending on our level of storytelling, that can be more or less true. For people who don't put much attachment into their own words, they don't think a lot about exactly which words they're choosing and aren't verbally expressive as a fundamental core of their being like I am, then they see words as more practically instrumental and less broadly like philosophically impactful or something. But see, I see it in terms of the slabs. It's amazing the way framing things can change the entirety of, of how a given event or something would play out. You know, it's like I'm trying to think of a good example. Has Kimberly had a physical lately? Slabs and such, it was what it needed to be. Yeah. And she's so strong because she has countervalue. I will say this: Kimberly is an extremely strong person. She's got strong defenses, and she can endure a lot of negativity and a lot of negative feelings. And has zero deference in her, zero follower. She is not a follower at all. She's also not a leader. She's chronically, intentionally in the way. Evil has the strongest shield, absolute self-delusion, and denial of truth and fairness. And, and the thing is about that, my efforts to get past that shield, if you do dismantle it, there's no epiphany where they go, oh, now I understand. They just double down. She just doubles down. If I do get her to actually say, okay, now look, you're saying this, and this is factually untrue, and she does agree with it, no good will come with that. She'll then, launch into some attack because she feels like, damn, he won one. Now I gotta freaking make him hurt. It's, well, the word I can't keep coming back to is toxic. She's sabotaging. Why? I don't know. Toxicity. No other way to put it. She's never considered that a path of humble trusting might be safe enough for you to even consider walking down. She's scared. I don't even know what the actual event was, but it sounds like it was a long-term coming. It wasn't any specific event. It was another fight in the morning where I was trying to explain to her the difference between abusive language, contemptuous shit, and angry language. And, I was saying, like, listen, Kimberly, there is a distinction. Are you trying to tell me that you're saying, yes, I'm choosing to deal with you contemptuously all the time? She said, yes, I am choosing that. It's like, are you trying to tell me that? Like, when she was like, well, I'm all panicky about, finances and being left high and dry. I said, well, look, Kimberly, I'm not trying to get you anything. All you need to do is ask me for help. I will be compassionate and be a good friend and stuff. Make sure that I'm being fair, as I always have been. And her response to this was, I will not ask you. I will not be polite to you. I will not, I will not be respectful to you. And yes, you must take care of this problem. You're not gonna leave me high and dry, motherfucker, kind of shit. I'm just like, I'm trying not to. I'm just saying, sure, we can talk about it, but you got to stop just insulting me and disrespecting me while you're asking me for help. I mean, just, um, right? Maybe, fine, I don't want any fucking help then. Why? Because I said to get it, you need to just to ask me and speak respectfully rather than command me with insults. It's mind-boggling, but whatever. I don't gotta worry about it anymore. I don't know what the fuck's wrong with her. It's just I wouldn't want to. Well, hopefully she learns from this. I think it's possible she'll come out of this relationship more or less healed-ish, because sometimes you have to lose something to understand what you had. And, it's like when I'm no longer the subject or object of her disdain at all times, as I am when I'm her boyfriend. And I'm just, I'm just another guy. I'm gonna have to be judged on my merits like everybody else is, I guess. She seems to save this spite for her significant other. I mean, Kim, FI to trigger the emotions of a person. Heavy is probably a tool to play with F5 others to then create changes in the person as in the spell, but that was just a fix, I guess. I mean, I think what Kim really does is, in the absence of understanding the process by which two people might engage in a positive emotional bond, um, and in the reality that she experiences where she perceives neutrality, a lack of emotion, or lack of displaying emotion as negative emotions directed at her, that that she's learned that the only way to emotionally engage with somebody is to, you know, cause them to become very emotional by provoking them and getting a big fight. And then, well, at least we're really feeling, I guess, or I don't know what the fuck you think. Which is, well, I'm basically not receiving validation for anything from her and haven't really forever in the entire relationship. It's been a continual point of contention where right from the beginning, well, not right at the very, very beginning, but pretty quick, she said a lot of negative things about me to other people, even when I wasn't around. She said a lot of negative things to me about myself. She really tried to get me to internalize some totally unfair critiques about me, and tried to gaslight the fuck out of me, frankly. But the thing is, none of it was intentional. She's not. She has no. There is not one speck of evil genius in that woman. There's not a plan of hers. It's delusion. I don't know. I feel compassion for her. I know that this will turn out to be down the road her greatest and most soul crushing mistake. But she can't conceive of a path currently in which she positions herself as in need, in the wrong, having earned scolding and punishment, and that she would receive genuine forgiveness and love if she were to present herself to me as such. Instead, what she presents herself to me is as the prosecutor, um, trying to prosecute me for various crimes. So it's like she's committed actual crimes. I'm actually a defense attorney. I'm trying to defend her. She thinks she's prosecuting me for crimes. And it's, you can't save people. They're not yours to save. Is she a good friend? Because I'm hoping toxicity occurs in a romantic relationship more extent now. I believe she will be a good friend. I believe things are going to get dramatically less toxic and have been slowly getting less toxic. I think she'll be fine. I think as a household, we'll be fine, at least until I start dating. But I plan on bringing everybody back here anytime soon. If she can stick with that too, I think we'll be fine. I don't want to have her bring a guy home before I get with a different chick. That would be uncomfortable for me. But I mean, if it happens, so be it. We've agreed to not bring people here for the duration of our cohabitation. So hopefully she sticks with that agreement. Because I don't have FE, but I can make people feel good or like shit, happy or scared, angry or purpose. I was thinking I used TE for this. maybe FI puts themselves in another person's shoes and says, if I were that person, I'd feel bad. So you could always access that to determine what they might feel. She tries to find out, is there someone who never loved me no matter how ugly I behave? To heal an old thing. Of course, that never works. She needs to understand herself in that, but you can't make her. Yeah, I sort of have concluded something similar to that, the reality is every time she tells me how much she dislikes me, she's really trying to say, I'm terrified of ruining this relationship. So I better ruin it. So, hurry up and ruin it. If it's that valuable to me, then it's too much, pain could come from it. So let me destroy it real quick. For instance, Mom, I don't know exactly what happened in her childhood, except that it wasn't good and she wasn't treated properly and wasn't valued and respected. I've tried to value and respect her. I've tried to demonstrate that shit, like being affirmational, being forgiving, being honest, being fair. I tried to demonstrate all that shit. But you can't make a zebra be a horse. And that's what I was ultimately trying to do. And Kimberly will never be a horse. If I can't make that woman be a horse, she's unhorseable. From what I'm listening by you, Eric, I think a point came when Kim simply didn't want it, but since she's uncomfortable saying that, so became passive aggressive to her. First of all, Can Krishna Sarma Pagu. Kimberly's been telling me she doesn't like me, and we should just break up then since the beginning. Second of all, there has never been an occasion when Kimberly's been remotely passive aggressive to me. Kimberly is consistently aggressive to me. She does not mince her words. She's not hinted shit. She calls me names. She comes up to me and tells me what a horrible person I am because I made some little mistake. Something else wasn't perfect. So, she's never been passive aggressive. I would adore passive aggression. Passive aggression would be such a delightful breath of fresh air for me. It would be like a peaceful, cool beach with a nice wind compared to what I'm currently enduring or have been enduring. It's an unfortunate relationship strategy. It sounds like Kim isn't willing to grow past a certain point and is in a position to insist that Eric accept to leave her stay. The thing is, she's not in such a position even. We are broken up. And we're going to stay that way. But I'm going to have to, basically, she's still going to be, at least in part, my dependent for the foreseeable couple of months. Depends how comfortable this cohabitation arrangement is. If we settle into it and get accustomed to not being with each other, but still being in the same house, if she keeps doing her shit, like cooking for us and doing laundry, like we've talked about, and we're all getting along fine, then there's no reason why I can't and I'm not willing to continue to pay the rent. She can continue to have a master bedroom, and she needs this place because it has her haircutting salon and all her clients coming. She has a decent, strong number of clients, like 60 clients or something, 65, 70 clients, I don't know. But regardless of that, they don't all come every month, and she doesn't make enough money to support herself in this home. She'd need to make a dramatic life change, which is what she was doing before I showed up. She was going to Cuesta College to become a medical technician, which is an odd thing for her to have decided to do because, of course, doing that would mean incurring more debt to learn a skill to do a new kind of job that would ultimately have less real earning potential than her current skill set, which she's been mastering for many years and has a big client base and yada yada yada. I think she's just tired of haircutting, maybe, but regardless, it didn't make good TE sense what she was doing. Is she going to return to that plan? I don't know. But I'm not trying to rush her. I'm not trying to leverage my leverage against her. I'm saying, look, let's take some time. We just keep this situation the same as it is. I just pay the rent, whatever, and I'll pay the bills or most of them, and um, you know, maybe give you money to buy some groceries sometimes, and we're gonna have to obviously separate our finances, but at some point here, but there's no urgency as far as I'm concerned. Even though she's quote unquote toxic, I don't actually think she's um, going to be like she's not going to try to fuck me in any way in the breakup. That's unfair or thoroughly wicked. I don't think she's going to. It's like we've never had actually any big conflicts about shared finances. That didn't give us any difficulty. We had our own account and our own card, and we pay interchangeably for things. It was all of our shared money. Most of it sourced from me, but it didn't matter. I think it's going to be tricky for her. Um, I don't know. I forgot what I was. Let's see. Oh, I'm way up here. I gotta go farther. Read through a bunch of this shit. Okay. Wow, I'm way behind. So behind. Okay, here we are. Kim is a survival animal. True. That too, but if they are, then not with FI polars, Freddie. Freddie, many people are broken. Not everybody's acting this way. Nah, nobody's scared of you. Countess one, I guess TE might be either applying helpful concepts to improve FE or to numb FE down due to brute forcing external concepts. But FE is like TE interface function, so it's, yeah. I'm not aware of the context in this specific situation. I can't listen to Eric speak right now since I'm in class. Oh, volatile and shapeable on the fly already, so to say, no real chance to engineer it from the outside. I'm not sure what that means. Epiphany serendipity is the word of the day here in Flatland. Oh, yeah, today might be Epiphany serendipity day. I need to look out for the FI polar people close to us so they don't get taken advantage of me, thanks. The only thing is, Hambone, we're not likely to get taken advantage of. We are likely to get abused. If it's emotional and verbal and not understand what it means to say, like, that's just not okay, and that's a clear boundary for me. We go, well, she's just hurting my feelings. I mean, I don't want to be whatever. I get over it, or just whatever. Not like they matter. Eventually, you realize, oh shit, what have I been enduring here? Stay strong, Eric. We're rooting for you. Well, thanks, Freddie Chandran. I'm fine. No, I'm much more worried about Kim, frankly, than me. I'm totally fine. I don't need to. I need to talk to anybody. I'm sure I'll go through some sort of minor mourning periods a little bit, but as I mentioned multiple times, criticism kills love, and she has spent too long killing love. I just am not giving anything up that I can be attached to. It's like anything that the aspect of her that I liked and could sort of go, well, there's this, she just sort of burned them systematically to the ground. There's not much feeling left in me for her. She can't admit being wrong? No. Sorry, I am also broken in that sense, but I am in a relationship for 15 years now. I'm thankful about it. It's not necessarily not possible. You need your own your shit, not project on your partner. Exactly. I don't mind her being damaged. I can't tolerate the fact that the damage expresses as lies, negativity, and adversarialness towards me. That I can't take. If she was sad or something, it would probably bug me, but whatever. She's not sad. She's toxic. To me, not to anybody else that I can see. Honestly, since I discovered personality typing, I went down this rabbit hole. I discovered that my himself is like Kimberly and really not interested at all. I understand, but do not. Yes, I think that's different. So you tried sprinkling holy water on. I thought about like maybe she's possessed or something. The way that she can not hear me, I'm like screaming at her. It's crazy. What if I insult someone on purpose to get him worked up so I can prove this guy's unstable? Yeah, that's what she's trying to do. But she's not even trying to do that. It's just it's playing out that way because she's on some sort of weird kind of reflex autopilot clusterfuck that is, I have no capacity to get her to. I have no capacity to use language purposefully for good end with her. She will not, no matter what, allow me to use language to solve any problem. So, I mean, it's like she is so universally antagonistic to my very being and nature at this point. She's trained herself to be that because I sabotage, self-sabotage. I don't know. Well, I had a couple of slabby video listens in the car on the way from Long Beach with Spacey. I asked him to put on some talking videos about relationship stuff, relationship communication stuff. And there was one that had the word stonewalling in the title. I don't really remember much about it other than that. And he put it on, and I was like, oh, this guy is being pretty like, he's making it really hard for me to ignore my NI here. It's like he did this sort of list of things. If your partner does this to you, it's like Kimberly like checked off all those boxes. She does all that shit to me. How I've been here this long, I do not know. The most important thing you need in any relationship is for your partner to communicate with you non-adversarial. If you don't have that, they're not trying to be a team, cooperative, then you just gotta get out of that as fast as you possibly can. There's no good will ever come in any relationship where one party will not communicate non-adversarially. Well, that's probably what's at play here. She probably knows she isn't in the right headspace for a relationship. I really believe she believed she was when she got into the relationship. I believe she thought she was in the perfect headspace or moment in her life to be in a long-term relationship. Finally, her son was all grown up. That wasn't going to interfere with dating at all, and he was ready to move out, but she needed somebody sort of to move in. And it's like the slabs need to line it all up for us. But of course, the slabs can do almost all the work for us sometimes. They'll never let us incur the benefits of their slabbery unless we make a sacrifice. We have to do something hard, maybe. We have to do something we don't want to do, maybe. We gotta attend by an intentional manner that's not comfortable for us for a while, maybe. It's all part of the way that humility is threaded into successful slab management. And the slabs did everything they could to preserve this this quantum reality unrealized as a potentiality still for as long as they possibly could for her. They did so many things to get her to open her eyes like this. I've only recently, within maybe 2 weeks ago, started telling Kimberly that the stories we tell come true. And saying, look, Kim, this is sort of a last ditch effort. You've got to understand this core notion. I can't keep arguing particular instances with you. You have to understand, internalize, and have it impact your thinking going forward. This core notion that the stories we tell come true. To the extent that these negative things you're saying about me have kernels of truth to them, they're based in accurate things at all. The truth of the negativity is the result of your work, not described by your work. But regardless, and then a few days ago, she said about the pond and everything. She's like, well, maybe we should get a water turtle. And I'm like, maybe, I don't know, it's not done yet. It's, then, like, not an hour later, Space and I go head up to the wheat store or something, and she calls and says, did you leave a water turtle on the front lawn? I go, no, what the fuck are you talking about? She walked up the door, and somebody had put a water turtle on our front lawn. Not like an hour after she told the story of us getting a water turtle. And so I try to tell her, Kimberly, look, this is clearly the slabs pounding on your forehead, screaming, hello, Eric is telling you the truth. You should listen to him. The stories you tell come true. You are currently killing anything good that he can build anything off of in order to make it absolutely impossible for him to help heal you or make you a tolerable relationship partner at all. And the slabs are saying, last ditch, this is as much bullshit as we can pull out of our ass. This lacks verisimilitude. In other words, it's not a believable plot device. But we're so want to give Kimberly as many chances as possible that we're gonna pull out all the stops, pull out all the miracles of weird serendipity for you. Pearls before swine. I can, because how will I? Wherever learn stuff, I constantly have to think about my own thoughts and correct them. I know you're not a fan of psychological labels, and I agree with them, but borderline personality disorder construct really captured the issues here. I know that, Sean, Ryan, Brian. Kimberly suffers from the most accurately captured by the petulant subtype of the borderline personality disorder. She's never wanted me to pathologize her at all. She's always said, like, I don't like that label. I don't like any of your pathology labels or whatever. But the problem that she's had, and the reason why it's been such a challenge for me, is she put me in a position where I've got to either say, why did that person do that objectively mean, awful, whatever thing to me? And I've only really got two choices. Number one, she's evil and out to get to me. Or number two, she's damaged and she's expressing her damage. Kimberly didn't quite get that. She's like, no, you shouldn't call me damaged. I don't know. I'm not calling you damaged. I'm saying your behavior is an expression of damage. And number two, most importantly, it's the nicest thing I can do here, Kimberly, because the alternative is you're evil and mean and cruel and maybe a sociopath or something. I don't think you are those things. So I'm describing it as accurately as I can and also giving you the benefit of the doubt, the more positive of the two available choices. Well, I guess her position is I'm supposed to what, celebrate the fact that she's just contemptuously dumping disdain and spite upon me. I mean, I'm not going to celebrate that, so I have to explain it somehow. Why is she like this? This is FI an explanation I come up with. Look into dialectical behavior therapy. I don't have any more energy for it. She's worried about her hierarchy of needs, safety, and survival. That makes so much snarky and stressed. Here's the thing, Winston. You might be right about that, Mrs. Well, you might be right about that. But as I've told her many, many, many times, she creates massive amounts of stress over things that are minor and or very solvable and or whatever. She creates massive amounts of stress by already knowing how badly something will go before anybody has a chance to try it. And when I suggest to her, look, here's an idea, Kimberly, that might help us. We could try this. I then, if I want to continue the conversation, has to do battle with her as she presents a series of reasons why, because of my bad nature, I won't follow through on that. I'll fail to do it that way. Or I know what you'll do, Eric. You'll just scream at me, or it's just litany of reasons why anything that I present as a possible good path because of how it might have positive impacts needs to be wholly and immediately rejected. It's shockingly frustrating. So I just couldn't tolerate the frustration anymore, basically. I hated what I was becoming. It's like, who is this fucking monster? And how did he get this way? This is not who I am. I'm not somebody who screams at people. I'm not somebody who ever calls people, like especially like friends or relationships or women, names, like nasty names or something. FI polar is my place. That's my place of least resistance. And so, you know, she's been fucking hammering at my nutsack physically, and I haven't been able to do a goddamn thing about it. It took me a long time from talking to Becky and a couple of smart people who weren't swayed by her gaslighting to go, no, you are right, Eric. She has a serious, problem. I mean, because it's one thing to not really like to apologize. It's one thing to be unfair sometimes, to a name slip out sometimes, or just to generally be less enamored with words and more enamored with other kind of love languages or something. It's quite another thing to systematically destroy every good narrative that once existed, one by one by one, to systematically attempt to use to harm your significant other those aspects of self that they revealed humbly and with an expectation of goodwill on the part of the other. So if I go, honey, I really feel insecure about my eyebrows, and they're not bushy enough. And I'll never be anything like Megan LaVoda. You know, I'm saying that it's an expression. There's a investment of trust. I expect neither in fights between just me and my significant other, nor in any other context to hear, um, like something like, "Well, who cares what you think anyway? Because you're so goddamn insecure about your precious eyebrows." Like, you're dealing with somebody who's you just can't be with if they use what you concede freely and in good faith and in trust against you. Becky did that to me too. I said, it's like I did say a couple of sort of concessionary things like, well, it's true, that I can sometimes be, yes, I was in that circumstance, but oh, but it's also part of a larger argument or something that she says, oh, because even you said it's true. Like, no, dude, this freaking talk about con, con, context hijacking. It's ridiculous. Regardless, let's continue down. People in the chat, is there anything specific that triggered the breakup this time? Sounds like therapy might help her. She sounds very high strung. I don't know. She talked about getting maybe medicated some before the breakup. I haven't changed my Facebook status yet. When I change my Facebook status, it is formal and ungo backable from. Until I change my status, there's 0.5% chance that, I don't know, she fucking opens her eyes. Maybe while she's sleeping, she's visited by the ghost of Christmas past or something. I don't know. Maybe the ghost of psychiatric medications visited her in the middle of the night and starts pumping her full of this new magic drug that makes her pleasant and loving. But I don't think so. He most likely will not respond that much friendly with his FE though. Make them sad, anxious, like nobody cares about them, plant doubts in their minds they have friends, etc. What are you talking about? Like how to gaslight somebody? As long build-up's ready, I guess something was the last straw. Would you possibly just take a break for a while and cool off and try to see if you can exist independently as opposed to break up for good? Well, that's actually what we're doing right now, sort of. The challenge is I'm sort of trying to, just kind of like smooth into this, but Kimberly's pretty volatile right now. It is a textbook borderline thing. I hate you, don't leave me. She's not ever asking me to not leave her though. She's just like, I hate you, leave. And then also like, and you better not stop. You better not leave me high and dry. Okay, well, I won't if you're nice, if you're verbally pleasant. I won't be pleasant. I don't like you. I mean, she's volatile now. And the thing is, well, who initiated it? I mean, we were talking and I was once again entreating her to listen, to work with me about something, to find some point of common ground, some teeny tiny indication that she wants to work with me. And she just doubled down as always. No, I not only do I not want to work with you, I want to work against you. I do have nothing but contempt for you. I'm not going to talk to you with anything other than contempt and disrespect. I'm not going to talk about you that way. And I was upset. And I went outside and I was thinking, like, I'm going to take the tires off the FJ. I bought those tires and she didn't deserve that tire. And then I was just like, no, you're not, Eric. She wins. Fine, you're done. I went inside. I said, fine, you win. I'm done. You obviously despise me. I can't, there's no reason for me to try to prevent you from being free of me. Well, I think Kim has behaving with so much hostility that Eric gave up. Exactly. Where's everyone else besides on YouTube in the chat rooms? Is there more than one streaming format like Discord or Twitch? Just have sex and make up. No, we're not having sex and making up. I think give her space so she can think it over carefully. I will do that, Countess One. I'm not, I don't, this is the thing, I don't want to make any decisions in any kind of heated emotional moment, but I'm constantly being pressured into it in some way or another. Like, she'll get me all pissed off, and I'll think, oh, God, I just want to fucking formally do this right now. And then I think, no, do it in a sober moment of calm reflection. Make sure she is too. But I mean, I don't know how long it's been or will be until she is able to have that sober moment of reflection where she actually is honest and talks authentically with me. Because if she were able to do that, then I mean, she'd have to recognize how badly a mistake what a horrible mistake she's making or has made, and how I've been right the whole time, and how she really is behaving in toxic fashion, and how, all that yada yada. I broke up a long time with a long-time girlfriend because I can't do this anymore. I'm done. Good for you, man. It was a good experiment. I'm excited for your next one. I am too. But I'm gonna try not to chase skirts at all for a while. It's like I would love to, instead of trying to go dating OkCupid style like I have before, I would like to have my own TWFP, slow developing friendship that smolders into something more over time with, some woman that is the right person, that I don't know I'm going after her until I realize she's the right person, instead of the other way around. Instead of like, I've decided to go after you and therefore I will choose to make you the right person by telling those stories. I want the truth of it to occur before the romance and sex stuff, which kind of means it's a good idea for it to start remotely in a relationship. But I don't know, just some initial thoughts. I'm not chasing a relationship at all. I don't really want a relationship right now. I'm happy enough being single. I don't really need to have sex that much. I'm not gonna go sell it for a little longer than I did last time. After my last marriage, I was after having sex shortly after I got divorced. I then didn't have sex again for a full year. I'm not gonna go that long this time, but I'm definitely not going to. I'm definitely not in any hurry to get back in the game or anything. I got shit going on. I got lots of shit in the mix. Women are complicated. Women take time. I'm still convinced, though, that somewhere out there there's the right woman who won't be a problem. I need a woman to be an asset instead of a problem. And Kimberly has been absolute fucking problem day in and day out for so long now. I just, Jesus. I've never encountered anybody who could whatever. I told my ex to take his pants off. He roared, no. That's how I know it's over. Probably doesn't correlate with good times. She'll probably do it as seeing herself in the victim role and thus enforces her stance, but I'm solely assuming here I don't know better very much. I think under normal circumstances she'd be tempted to do that. But the problem for her is, while my positive good narratives could never stood a chance of outbuilding the rate of demolition, one thing that they have done for sure is I have successfully conscribed the scope of her plausible narrative range. So she's that's going to be true the further away the person she's talking to gets away from me. So it's like people who don't know me at all, she'll just misrepresent shit wantonly. But she seems to be wavering kind of back and forth with her NI. So on some level, she's understanding what I'm saying is true. And you see it occasionally, and she kind of goes, "Oh," but it requires somebody other than me to tell her. She doesn't listen to that goddamn thing I say, no matter what. If I say it, then those words are false, and I will never learn anything from them because they came out of Eric's mouth, and I absolutely despise them for no reason. I don't know. It's unclear if a specific thing triggered the breakup. To me, it seems like a lot of verbal abuse. Yeah, I've just suffered too much verbal abuse. You find yourself on the defensive and someone punches down. Breaking up and existing separately go hand in hand. It would be only possible for them to not to break up if Kim learned a lot and got really play really fast. I mean, the only way it would be possible for us to not break up is if Kim had that AA moment. Like basically, Kim has an addiction. It's an addiction to negativity. And I once had an addiction to alcohol that I needed to abstain from. The thing about negativity, like alcohol, most people can use it just fine. You can use some negativity and you don't have a problem with it. You don't get addicted to it. You know, find yourself drinking a fifth of negativity every day. People who are addicted to negativity in that sort of self-destroying way that I was addicted to alcohol, whatever the term means, doesn't matter. Addicted. But the point is, for people like that, they can't use it at all. They have to abstain completely, or they go hog wild with it again. It's an addiction that it means there's an aspect of that thing that interferes with the individual's normal ability to exercise their will as moral agents about that drug that they've taken. So that's what Kimberly's got going on. She's addicted to negativity. And what I keep doing is talking her through all how important the big book is and all the things the big book can do to help her. I'm ignoring rule number one. You can't make somebody quit drinking. You have to wait for them to choose to do the shit they got to do. Number one thing they got to do, admit they have a problem. Something I've been hammering on for a long time. Yes, Kimberly, no, you are the problem, not me. The reason we're fighting right now is because you came in here and without any solicitation or cause at all, randomly attacked the shit out of me. Then I responded. You didn't like me defending myself. Now I'm raising my voice, true, and you're saying, see what an awful person you are screaming. Except you seem to have forgotten what happened 5 minutes ago when you came into the room and decided out of the blue to say more insulting, disdainful, contemptuous things to me. Even though I had nothing to sort to you, what are you going to do? If Kim were to say, fuck Eric, what did Kim say? I was like, I just had a vision. I think God spoke to me. You were right about everything, huh? And just fucking burst into, please don't leave me. Fine, then okay. Now she's humbled and she's learned something and she's made dramatic epiphany that I would assume will hopefully inject increasingly, well, you'd finally change her to make her so she abstains from negativity now instead of drinks it too much. She can't play with it at all. She can't use it a little bit. She doesn't know how to use it. She doesn't know how to engage with me from a position of good faith and goodwill. That's the problem. There's overthinking. I don't overthink anything. I'm finally saying, no, I don't want to be made to feel bad all the time. My feelings matter too. He decided 2 INTJs won't work, so I said, just try or else we will never know. He said, no. I said, take your pants off. You already know. I do the same after stuff L-I apostrophe-E this. Like this. Eric, it's about the cohabitation now. It'll be fine. Kim has an IQ of like 75. She's actually pretty well spoken a lot of times. She's a good communicator. He was afraid of an adventure. You couldn't probably made him used to it, but however, you seem to want quick results. I was like, whose home is the home you're living in right now? Are you scared? Yeah. The thing is, we rent. Her name's on the lease, but I have the money to pay the rent. So, the point is, I don't think she's going to be wicked to me in the breakup. She may say some more nasty shit, but I don't think she's going to try to pull any shady stuff. Like, change the locks, took all the money, put all your shit on the porch. I don't think so. You know. So let me see here. She's gonna feel worthy of love, so she sabotages the risk of repeating what everyone's saying. Yeah, I know. She sabotages. I can't do anything about it. Did you hear Freddie and I are best friends now? So Freddie, you and Matthew are best friends? Congrats. You should get BFF bracelets. Feeling worthy is difficult for those that have been treated like shit. I know. I feel bad for her. I do have compassion. I can't. It can't be my problem anymore. Eric needs a sounding board or audience to process his thoughts. I'm into that once in a while. I do need that. I needed a live stream this live stream. I need to talk this shit through. I don't want to badmouth the shit out of Kimberly or anything, but I have to. I mean, the biggest problem the whole time has been she doesn't hear me. She doesn't want me to feel heard. She doesn't want me to feel like I'm getting a win ever. I come here and I'm heard. The problem that she has, from her perspective, I'm sure, is that unlike every other man I imagine she's been with before, she can't really get to me. She can't really get to my heart. She can't really get to my self-concept. She can get to my ego, but that ended up sort of helping. Things I used to think I was insecure about, I realized, I guess I'm not that insecure about it. She said all the worst possible things you can say to a man about everything in the world, So, whatever. I know I can't be that awful in that many different ways. And having this YouTube channel and hearing you guys in the chat and seeing comments and talking and stuff, it protects my soul. It's like reinforcement and reassurance that she is wrong. I am right about this. And I don't need to worry about my feelings are fine because I'm actually not insecure. I'm actually not mean. I actually do have good follow through. I actually am caring. I actually am considerate. I don't talk too much. I'm not a shitty lover. She hasn't said that in a long time, but early on, she was fucking like, I'd never encountered anybody who had treated me like that before, who said such awful freaking things to me. Like, because, some occasion, she didn't feel like she didn't have an orgasm sometime we had sex or whatever. And I get this fucking scathing critique of my being. It's just fucking, I had not encountered that kind of shit before. Nobody had ever been that anywhere close to as mean to me as she's been to me for years now. I've never encountered that kind of cruelty directed at me. It didn't, like I said, it doesn't really work. But just because I'm uniquely well positioned to be inoculated against that shit, I've got shit tons of affirmation directed at me. It took shit tons and takes shit tons to ward off the the weight that she's trying to confer onto me, trying to instill self-doubt or self-loathing in me or something. It didn't work. It's not gonna work because, like I said, I just fortunately am uniquely well positioned to be inaugurated to that. But gosh, it makes you think, um, Eric, you're not taking care of yourself. You need to take care of yourself. And this person does not mean you well, does not want you to be happy, does not want you to feel good about yourself. It doesn't want you to have any wins or anything. It's definitely not on your side or on your team. So you need to take care of yourself. You need to put some distance between yourself and this person. I know it's the last thing in the world you normally think of is I need to take care of my feelings, but in this instance, it's exactly what I need to do. I need to prioritize my feelings. What matters here most of all are my feelings. It takes somebody abusing the living shit out of me for a long time, verbally, emotionally, never physically. Neither of us ever hit each other. No, there's never any physical altercation, but it takes that kind of sustained getting hit in your polar to make me go, all right, what matters here are my feelings. Sorry, that's what matters. I'm tired of you hurting my feelings all the time. I know it's not supposed to matter, and I don't care about hurt feelings or whatever else, but actually, it's the only thing that really matters. I don't want you to hurt my feelings anymore, and you're constantly trying to do it. So fuck off. I'm done. Why did you both let types and typology be so inherent of your relationship? Oh, that's not fair to me. Sure, you're fine with it. Bone, you're just rationalizing. I'll share her with you, though, Matt. I'm only repeating what you said. What did I say? Oh, there. Friend triangle. Host Derek, if you called Kimberly a bully, would you be surprised by your perception or opinion? I mean, she'd say I was a bully. That lots of people know that I'm a bully. That if you ask the right people, that they know that I'm incredibly difficult to be with and live with. That I'm incredibly awful, and it was just go like that. And everything I say to her, she tries to turn it back on me. It's like, hey, Kimberly, I really don't like how you talk to me, or this is me. Well, you talk to me like that all the time. No, I actually never talk to you like that. Really? Never? What about? Okay, yes. At the heat of the fucking peak of that one fight, oh fuck it. It's like you're making me do all this fighting before the city gates again. I just won't do it anymore. I've wasted too much time. Countess one, listen. You need to stop worrying so much about whether somebody has their pants on. An average date, a man might go through 7 or 8 stages of being clad in pants and subsequently pantsless. I usually strip during the soup course and then get redressed for the entree. You both let pants define who you were. Said, we're both wearing pants. Let's fuck. And that's when you said, well, you gotta have to take off your pants. And then he said, no, because I love pants. I can't get enough of these fucking pants. Don't tell me to take them off. He believed in too many pants. He just talk about left leg, right leg, waistline, button fly. Just pants, pants, pants all day long. When I was young and hot, says Christy, I also spoke often of pants. Interesting. Countess 1, you must be a big fan of CSJ. Says Blue Nowhere. Countess 1 says, Eric, don't be sad. You are so handsome. You'll find another one. This is the thing. When I was watching the videos yesterday or whatever, they said those kind of things like, there is someone else out there for you. Someone, I already know all that shit. I'm not worried about that. I'm not like, maybe I'm not lovable, or there's just nobody for me. No, I'm like, next chick I get with is going to be subjected to a substantial battery of tests to make sure she doesn't have any of these kind of things wrong with her, because I don't want to deal with that shit. Imagine if Kimberly were watching this right now. There's zero chance. I've been trying to get that woman to listen to me for years. And it's like she is practically doing this to avoid hearing me. So there's a chance she's going to seek out information that would inform her about our relationship from a objective, realistic perspective. Countess 1, I'm also on a no pant schedule that's very convoluted. But I try to keep my pantslessness mostly during the time when I'm sleeping. That way I don't impose it upon others. Exactly, Winston's mom. If only it were that simple, WM. Tom Jickelson. Imagine if Kimberly were watching this right now. Then that would be progress. She'd be trying to hear me and learn something. It's healthy to end being hurt. That's self-care and what grown-ups do. It's a reasonable to get out of this exam. It is, and I gotta take care of myself. All right, you heard Countess. Everybody is encouraged to take their pants off. Perhaps you need a reason. Well, you haven't seen your genitals in a while. And you want to check, make sure they still look the same as they did before. I doubt it. An FI person won't consistently disregard and trample over the feelings of their partner. No, she's not an FI person. Kimberly's an ISFJ. There's nothing else she is. AS, I know you don't have pants on right now because I have your pants here in my house. Oh, you look like the guy from Devil's Rejects. Cool. Yes, it's a lot of finger spits and full needed to come through to them without causing aversion. Not sure what that means. Taylor's here. Taylor's pants, not here. That's the important thing to note, is whether or not you're wearing pants. That's why we are meant to be sweetie. She's building up heat. She's going to explode. If she can't get you to leave, she'll leave. You want to help them, but they're not helping them sabotage themselves. Part of who they're. I've left. It's not. We've broken up. I wouldn't even say I left her. It's just we broke up and we're done. That's it. But she's got a lot of requirements that link to me and whatever. It's gonna take a while to extract myself in full, and then after a little bit of a break of solitude, I'll gradually begin my quiet, surreptitious hunt for just the right puss. I don't want it even 1 millimeter off of my ideal. I want a puss that's wholly healthy, a puss that's positive, a puss that oft affirms me, a puss that drinks my jizz. That's 4 lines of the poem. Needs more lines, obviously. It's very angry. It's very clear that Kimberly has repressed anger and will eventually resort. Now she will not get some kind of school shooting. She feels safest by herself, ultimately, I think. I'd be worried about Eric doing the dating scene again. I'm not really doing the dating scene again, I don't think. I'm sort of just going to lay low and see if I meet somebody around the rooms or something or whatever that I feel like I actually like them and am attracted to them in a real world sort of experiential way before making any decisions about which statuses regarding that matter I would like to assign. I'd like my liking to be organic first, and I'd like it to be cautious as well. That I need whomever I end up with to be in the same state of it's the same place in the optimality arc as I am, wherever that might be. We don't need no pants. We don't need no pants control. We don't need no pants. They cover up our junk. Bathrobe, is it monogrammed? Aren't they all? Wad up, Taylor. I just wear socks so I can be lazy and don't have to wash. Eileen, are you walking around in just your socks? Are you a naked, sexy German lady in socks? Do you have any sauerkraut on hand? Jake Forrest. She's only shooting Eric, Tom. Me and Fees are full of noisy and children, so lots of targets in one person. She's not going to shoot me. The thing is, I know for a fact that this will be, and by no small margin, by a massive margin, the first time that she's ever experienced a healthy breakup with somebody who's not out to get her and not trying to, So she's going to be confused mostly, but she's certainly not going to shoot anybody. How long have they been together? We've been together 2.5 years. Bathrobe is red. Has Winnie the Pooh photo on it, so definitely not the shaken, that stirred kind, sadly. I don't know what you're referring to. Genitals, not geritol. Oprah left us all pants? I'm so wonderful. Oh my god, but what if you went to check on them? They look different. The Dow Poo says Eeyore. I like next chick. Sounds great. Next chick? You mean that's the name of my next chick until she actually gets a name? Possibly. In the UK, pants mean underwear. Well, that's because they have wrong words in the UK. Tiger's the only example of the species. The only one. Does anyone have pants here? I have something that's functioning in a pants-like capacity, namely these they're like PE shorts kind of that I'm wearing. I don't know what they're. UK says underpants, does not. We just say pants. Jake, I'm afraid and blushing, but I have to ask, what do you call a fanny pack? A fanny pack is the same thing as a puss wallet. That's what it's referred to in England. Puss wallet. Next chick. Yeah, and I think that's her name. So anyway, I think her name is Next Chick Stevenson. When I meet Next Chick Stevenson, then, or maybe her name should be Next Chick I Get In. Next chick I get on is she's gonna be quite a winner. She's gonna be a person of high character, honesty, and genuine, positive mutuality. Also, massive tits. Just she doesn't have to have big tits. That'd be nice, but she doesn't have to. Find the right puss is indeed the thing, and really, I think Find the Right Puss is the new era's version of Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego? What does Srutty Tone sound like? Sweaty tone, sweaty tone. I need a sweaty tone. Sweaty tone sounds like this. I read everything in Peterson's voice. That's so smart, Eric. Thank you, I think. I'm not sure what you're referring to, or you might be teasing, I'm not sure. You may actually be serious, if I don't know what I'm saying. Well, Eileen, you remember my voice accent, how flattering I'm, Matthew Hollister. Too bad you never had a friend tell you just, well, Taylor, look. If I listened to other people's good advice, it wouldn't be much of an HP. She's already in the room, Zach. The last for you is Justine. Or the lady for me is Justine. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly who she is or which. I remember the name. I don't remember what she's like. Latest one is another chat room. There's a nice young conservative day trader who talks light between his lessons on trading. I don't want a nice young conservative day trader. That sounds like a gay relationship. Don't get cocky now, Freddie. What drew you to Kim and made you love her in the beginning? What drew me to her? She was an ISFJ. That's what drew me to her. And I didn't really love her in the beginning. I decided that, okay, you meet enough of the qualifications. You and I are now together forever. We are committed forever, going steady, might as well be married. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. There's no possibility of us breaking up because once I commit, then that's for life. I made for life, and that's it. Of course, that's not love. That's just Eric's crazy workaround for FI polar. Do you want me to cry? Says Shreddy. I don't know. Do your tears cause people to come back to life if they're dead? Sometimes tears do that in movies, I've noticed. I think if my dream of you and Cam adopting me actually happened, then maybe the situation would have been better. Well, we already adopted Facey, and it did help. It got us broken up, sort of. Or at least it didn't hurt to that effect. And God bless Oprah. Freddie Chandran, please. Will you cry for us? I will sing you a song. Are you James Charles? My pants are excellent. I saw Next Chick is Netflix for a single host Eric's. Next Chick. We'll see. Who knows what Next Chick's going to be like? Who knows? I don't know. I don't know what I've known. I got to meet Next Chick first and say, all right, let's see. Go through my normal sort of process. Okay, well, I'd like her to be more attractive than me, but not substantially more attractive, because then I may feel insecure, maybe, or something. But she's also got to be able to tolerate my unattractiveness. So, if there's not that big of a cushion between us, then she'd probably be more tolerant of it, or at least be less likely to shame me for it or something. That oughtn't be how one gets into relationships, but those are the sort of thoughts that go through my head. Or, well, let's see. This place kind of feels like home. The slabs are indicating that I should be with her because we got the same dynamic kind of thing. And I mean, there's no way I was going to avoid that trap. This trap, I was supposed to fall in, so I was learning things from it. I'm glad I'm out of it now. I lasted a long time with my ISFJ. I lasted 5 years. You guys are likely to make it more than that. We're not making it more than we're not together. We're done. Yeah. It does start to crumble quickly because, at a certain point, I stop making this concerted effort to convey the information in a super effective or nice way, and I start going like, fuck it, here's this truth. Yeah, it's rude, but you just do not listen to me at all. You make me fucking live it so many times now that just like burnt out my anger bone or something. I want another ISFJ. I believe in duality. I think if I had a decent ISFJ, I had a halfway decent ISFJ. In other words, somebody who acted like an ISFJ most of the time in their relations with me. She really acts like an ISFJ in her relations with everybody else. With me, she acts like an ISFJ who's playing for Satan's team. She's still doing the same shit. She's still using FE, but she's using it to harm. She's weaponized it. Her understanding of a romantic relationship is ongoing battle or something. I heard another song a while back where it said, basically, love's not supposed to be like this. You're not supposed to be constantly trying to battle me. Let's see where we are. We're all the way down to the bottom. I'll go back up. What's happening is Roby, ISFJ. Eric, that's where you say it's Freddie Chandran. What am I supposed to say about Freddie Chandran? I don't know. Knickerbockers, how very Dutch of you. Next chick again? Next chick again will be like the traffic jam that happens when I finally get the next chick, and then all of a sudden there'll be like shit ton of chicks who want to get on me. So that's what happens. It's like this very tepid response. Nobody really wants to. Yeah, you're gonna make somebody a great partner. Then once you actually get on the next chick, you're gonna get on. Well, then that's when the rest of the chicks decide. You know what? Maybe I do want to get on him. Next chick could get on. NC a GED. I'll tell you in code, when I get next chick I get on, I'll call her NC a DD. NC a GD. GO, I guess it should be. NC a GO. Next chick could get on. Tulip Mania, load up the toilet paper. Because we need toilet paper for our buttholes. Shruti Chandran. Oh, Shruti Chandran. Who's been telling you lies? That's not how you say that. Right. So, for those of you in the chat who want to speak proper Indian or whatever that is, this is how you say that word. Shruti Chandran. That's like totally keeps and maintains positive and negative memories. The reality, though, is the negative memories are more powerful. You have more powerful incentive to avoid things that are negative than you do to repeat things that are positive. So it really depends on what you train your SI to do. The critical thing to remember as well in life, I believe that I've observed before that I believe is true and significant and explaining a lot of things, is that the prime directive for people, this is just my opinion, but I can't really establish this definitively, but the prime directive for people is to make expectations and reality closer together. And this is why the stories we tell come true. Shirley's been telling so many negative stories. I mean, telling me over and over again how she expects this negative outcome. It causes her discomfort on some level when she doesn't get the negative outcome she spent so much time advocating for in her storytelling. It also makes her uncomfortable when she does get the negative outcome, but at least it doesn't surprise her. And to the extent that you can fix what ails her, and I'm not sure if that's possible or if it can even be summed up quite that effectively as what ails her, but to the extent that you can, it would have to be dealing with that mechanism. Like Let's see. Kuwantesuwan. Yes, that's how you pronounce your name, Countess One. This is so real. Thank you for sharing that. You're welcome, Rachel Lapala. So I've always been very open about stuff like this prior to Kimberly. I had similar kind of openness about other stuff, but um, I just feel kind of disappointed, I guess. Like disappointed in her. Not really disappointed for myself. I feel kind of appointed, but I feel disappointed for her. I don't know. It's like I'm not in any rush to formalize the change or anything, but we're done. She's she's not left enough good alive to sustain even the shell of this thing anymore. My forest is the icy kind, covered in thick inches of snow, but that's because it's a cover actually in a cave underground hiding from enemies. Cool. I want to live in a cave underground. I'll have to think about and observe that for a while. Might be right as well for INFJs. Since you come to the conclusion you want your partner to listen to you and respect your feelings, do you now want to find an FI girl? No, I don't want a partner to listen to me and respect my feelings. I want a partner to listen to me and respect my logic and my words in general, and to allow words to do their work, which is to say, to I can fairly and even generously parse out my interpersonal disputes to make my partner feel as though, and because it's actually true, I'll make more of the status um, concessions. All I need to know is that she's working with me as a narrative partner, and I will always paint her in the best possible light and take on more responsibility, more accountability for everything than I should. I suspect that if the next woman I get with is just generally healthy and fair to me, that I will just, I mean, like a worship the ground she walks on or something. I, I think in that regard, I've been damaged and through this relationship here. I think it's gonna be just even. I hadn't even thought about this before, but I think it's gonna be very emotional for me when I get with somebody who treats me nicely and who cares about me and acts like it. I don't feel like I haven't felt loved in a long time by my significant other. So, and quite the opposite. I felt um, dismissed, reduced, harmed, treated unfairly. I was the only person that helped her to do her FI and gave her a balance view of others. That's the only reason she ever forgave anyone, and not every ISFJ is an INFP. I mean, I talked to one today. I talked to Chill ISFJ. I typed her. I still need to post that video. I keep forgetting to even look at it, but she was absolutely delightful. I talked to Jewel today. She was absolutely delightful. Um, I've watched her be fair. I've watched, and the thing is, again, I don't think people really quite understand just how determinedly. I mean, I certainly didn't have any notion. It's like if you were to compare, if you were to watch a lot of the way Kimberly interacts with me and stuff, and this relationship, you'd be like, Eric, It's not like you just got somebody who's a little bit of a ball buster sometimes. You got this woman who I have never seen anybody talk to or interact with their significant other quite as poorly as this woman does. Like, this is a demonstration of how to be really, really bad at relationships. She's like doing everything wrong, like straight out of the textbook, like whatever sort of basic rule of thumb, relationship communication advice there is out there that is positioned as applying to everybody or almost everybody or whatever. She's breaking it in no uncertain terms. I took me this long to realize it. It's like, oh, Eric, no, Eric, this isn't normal, and no, Eric, this isn't okay. In fact, it's rather extremely not okay. And you're going to have to sort of forgive yourself for not realizing this sooner, but you're going to have to get out of this too because you have to take care of yourself. Anyway, you guys don't need to hear me just bend about Kimberly at this point now any further. But I do want to talk about a little bit is going forward, how I'm going to handle things. That's still a topic I'm interested in. Thank you, Matthew Alistair. I would like an ENTP or ENTJ. Countess, ENTP, get along well with INTJ if you're really an INTJ. ENTJ, no, probably not so much. Trying to make an MBTI duality dating app. Only allow people that are currently tied. Good idea, Joe. Tom Jackson. Good idea indeed. And only allow you to see people of your duality types. You can't even see anybody else on the dating site. It's not your dual. Not allowed to. You're not allowed to browse the INFPs. Hey, you get back over there and you stay with those ISTJs. Those are your duels. You're gonna love them. Eric is single now. Candace is a little young for me. I don't really want to rob the cradle too much. Like, I'm down for a woman in her 30s. I'm probably not down for a woman in her 20s. I think Countess is like 18 or something. No, I'm not gonna get all pederasty. I see. I felt like I always stand in the middle of my ISFJ and INFJ family members because they always fight. I could at least calm them down, but God, all that anger. I want to see Eric shave. I mean, it's not terrible with my clean shave. I mean, I need to cover up as much of this face as possible. When she said, who's your girl gonna be?" I said, "That's where you say Freddie." Oh, I see. Freddie Candron can't be my girl. You know why? INFP. She'd supervise me to death. I can't have that. Why would you want this, Jake? Why would Jake want what? Oh, to see me shit. He didn't want to see me shit. Ugly is the answer. INTJ, ESTP, not a bad mix, but not ideal. Yeah, it's hard family members. Naked Jake, just naked. Jake, are you naked? Just naked? That's what Eileen says. I bet he looks super young. No, I just look super ugly. The problem with FJs is they shove their backstack F5 for everyone else to deal with. It's still F5, but it's using it wrong. No finesse whatsoever. It's demonstrative. She's always demonstrating to me with her facial expressions, tone, and words how much she does not like me. Naked face. Do they call you naked face, Jake? Let's see here. Where are we? "100 likes, Eric will shave beard." No, he won't. Tom, I've learned online that somehow, some way I trigger the SP is not a good way. Unhealthy FJs don't use FI to be accountable. They're conscious, develop a personal code of conduct or sense of ethics and use it to shove negative feelings in everyone else's face. Yeah. I'm stuck right now between an INTJ sister and a massively unhealthy ISFP dad. Sorry to hear that. Fiagi Katerina. How do you say that first word? Fiagi. Countess. Jake Force, stop. He is not going to want my tiny bottom. Well, I mean, describe it like that, maybe I do. I can't even conceptualize what it means to finesse FI. Shruti. Jake Force, please do not mispronounce Freddie's name. She does not like that. She called me yesterday. They said, please. And when she made sure people call me Freddie Chandran. I'm so sick and tired of this attempt by these random people from around the world to I'm going to express some sort of cultural, embrace by trying to pronounce it like whoa, like ching 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 or something. No, we pronounce things how they're spelled, and that's why your name is and will always be Sruddy Chandran. Bum 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 bum. There are rumors Sruddy likes cucumber in the butt. Boofing cucumbers? Hmm. Well, I could put a cucumber in, but it wouldn't necessarily be the worst thing in the world. I don't think I want any cucumbers in my butt. And if she's expecting me to eat the cucumber after it's been in her butt, she's got another thing coming. I'm a boobs guy, not a bum guy. It's true. I am a boobs guy. I do like boobs, but I like all kinds of boobs. I'm not just into big boobs. Any boobs are great. I mean, female boobs. Like sometimes we get this like little skinny girls with little boobs. There's something kind of cool about that. You get the like the medium, like perky ones that are kind of like a little pointy and stuff. They're all great boobs. Boobs are great. There ain't no fixing an ISFJ. They don't want to believe they're the problem. Boy, ain't that the truth. Boy, ain't it. Duke Albero. Hi. Attachment style issues too. Yeah, the thing is, I don't believe that her ISFJ-ishness is the problem. I believe it's the attachment style problems. It's either you could call it BPD, um, what's that subtype called again? Petulant subtype of BPD, basically. I think most ISFJs, and I would get along swimmingly. I believe in duality. I can see how it's supposed to work. It just doesn't work that way with Kimberly because she's not. You have to let your defenses down sometimes in order for the good parts of ISFJ to come out. You can't constantly be defending against all potential bad outcomes, or else you make them all come true. I prefer carrots. Not ENTPs though, Freddie. The SI too inferior to handle a cucumber. Yeah, my SI is not good enough to cucumber the butt. Nah, I'm not into that humiliation shit, man. I just want a woman to vomit on me and shit in my mouth. Oh, it's not humiliating. Yeah, I want to call me a stupid, worthless sack of shit. Not humiliating. Well, Tom Jickelson, I appreciate your open definition of the word humiliation. I embrace it with my penis. Eileen Arva. Guys, I got a piece of news about her. I want to share with everybody. She loves coffee. She loves it. She might be drinking right now, but even if she's not, she still loves it. So real lasting love, committed love. Jake, if you are the leader, they'll find you. Go to a bakery. Ask the owner if they have a sister who likes your cock. You aren't an ISTP. I'm not. Whew, I was worried there for a minute. Now I guess I got to get a job, says Jake Forrest. No, find some caring elderly people or something. You were trans type? Well, there is no trans typos, Freddie. Not possible. You can be trans and evil if you'd like. Oh, you can be trans typo. It's permanent. It's permanent. Okay? It's permanent and it's real. Like the status of who's the coolest. Let's see. It works for a little while they're willing to listen to you. You can help them. Sooner or later, they hate you, and then there will be no one to convince them to forgive you. I mean, the thing is, like I told her a million times, offense, defense. I'm always playing defense. I'm not, but I can't just not respond to fucking dirty, dishonest, rotten attacks. The Aggies stories scaring me. They sound like stubborn but butthurt creatures. Should we just be the same type as us? Then no, I want an ISFJ. I just want one that's got a secure attachment style. Forgive yourself when you had the best intentions. Maybe as well turn down the effort to help them to stay before you burn out. Yeah, that's good advice to me too. I gotta sort of forgive myself for trying so hard for so long. Just she already dumped the dude, Walter. She's smart. Yeah, and I regret. I guess she is. Best of luck, Eric. I'm sure you'll find someone that you like. You're awesome. Thanks, Freddie Chandran. Plenty of fish in the sea, they say. Maybe there's a special lady even out there for me. I'm not in any hurry. You know, I can go. I can go zero puss for, let's say, 3-4 months. No problem. I can go cold turkey from frequent puss to zero puss. Cold turkey. I can do it no problem. I won't even get fussy. I won't even get cranky. So I'm not worried about getting on a chick right away. I want to take my time and find some chick that who likes me, basically. You know, I wrote this song for 2 chicks before Kimberly. This song that goes like this. You're mine if I want it. I'm yours if I want that too. But I wanna be wanted. Not sure if it's something that you can do. I didn't quite get the tune of it right, but that's the lyrics of it. And I think that's the gist of my position on relationships. Chances are, if I'm just given the circumstances here, whoever I'm singing it to, you're mine if I want it. I'm yours if I want it. In other words, I've got the better position here so that I have more leverage or whatever. But what I really want is for you to authentically like me and want to be with me and think I'm, find me not a burden, not a joke, not a annoyance. I want somebody who likes me. I want to be with somebody who likes me, who actually likes me. Who doesn't constantly remind me of everything about myself that anybody might find unlikable. I understand I carry with me parts of my ontology that are not as appealing as others, but I want to be with somebody who makes me at least sort of believe that she likes me. Bye, Rachel. Hydrangeas. Maybe that's what I need. I need some hydrangeas. Shreddy Cameron, Marina Nunez, somebody. Shreddy Cameron, ESTJ is a better match for an INFP than an ESTP, though. ESTP equals INFP equals animal conflict, no matter how much you try to get along. Yeah, it's best to admire an ESTP for this. Nice song. That's a good song, Eric. Sounded nice. I want it to be wanted. Simple as that. Right. I want to be wanted. It's like, yeah, I could get this chick. And I can make her actually want to get with me. And I could choose to want to get with her too. Like, I can make myself want to get with her. But what I really want is for her to authentically think she's lucky to be with me. If there's one thing I'm convinced of is that Kimberly does not at all think she's lucky to be with me. At all. She seems to think I'm a joke, an embarrassment, and completely illegitimate in all ways. You are not trans-typal. Nobody gets to be trans-typal, okay? The Shaolin monk will step into the path of the student. Sometimes we must let them come to us. See the ability will come. Yada yada yada. I wish I could find someone who loves him and affirms him for who he is, makes him nutritional food, protects him from injustice and intelligence, respects him vice versa. Amen, indeed, Jake Forrest. On that note, I'm going to bed. Thanks everybody for being here. I need to talk some shit out, obviously, and I'm happy to do that. So, a hilarious thing is, there's a new chick at my house right now, sleeping with, and, Spacey has a chick here right now. So, I don't even really know her at all. I never spoken to her before. I picked her up at the airport today, and I haven't spoken to her maybe slightly, but she's cute. We'll see. But, always an exciting morning when I wake up and find out what's going on. See what's going on. I think that EHP would need a partner to have the good aspects of F5, and the partner isn't. Exactly. I need good F5 from my partner. I don't need bad F5 at all. I don't want my feelings triggered. But what I really need is somebody to listen to and respect my TI and my words and my fairness and my ability to solve problems in a just and good way that has built in goodwill and good faith. Yeah. Anyway, see you later, everybody. Thanks for